So we actually stopped malting our own barley here at Cardhu in 1968. So being part of Diageo, we have 4 malting sites spread around Scotland. Okay, we're going to outsource all of the malted barley from there. So what we're going to do is soak the barley in water for 2 days, and then spread it along the malt floor at the bottom for 5 days so it can germinate, and we can convert the sugars into alcohol more effectively. Okay, the workers down here we call malt men, or malt monkeys. Okay, there's a reason why. They've got a very labor-intensive job. They have to shovel the malted barley by hand. They'd often get a pain in their back that we call monkey shoulder. Okay, has anyone heard of the whiskey monkey shoulder? Yeah.
No.
Okay, by William Grant and Sons. So it's a blend between Kinninvie, Balvenie, and Glenfiddich. Okay, really nice whiskey actually. That's then going to come up here, and we're going to spread it above the kiln for about 8 hours to dry. So if you try a smoky whiskey like Lagavulin, Lefroy, Kalila, they burn peat in the kiln. The more peat you burn, the more smoke will come up and dry out the barley, ending the germination. In Speyside, we don't tend to use peat. We use anthracite. It's a high quality smokeless coal, burns with a blue flame that will dry out the barley, ending the germination without imparting the smoke onto it. So that will then arrive here. So every 2 days we get a 42-ton delivery of non-peated malted barley. So I worked at Glenfiddich last year. We had 100 tons delivered every day on site. Okay, quite different levels. The second sample here is peated. Okay, much more smoky this time. So what we're going to do is we're going to take it. It's going to go down into our lower malt bins, and then 8 tons at a time will go up into our mill room. So we have an old Porteous mill here at Cardhu. Has anyone heard of Porteous? Yeah, they were a company based in Hull and Leeds in the north of England. They used to sell mills to most of the distilleries in Scotland. The only problem is they would never break down. Okay, so Porteous went bust in the 1970s. So yeah, victim of their own success. Thank you. Inside the mill, there's 2 sets of rollers. They're going to grind up the malted barley into this stuff here. We call it grist. It's like a coarse wholemeal flour made up of 3 parts. So the shell, so the husk, that's about 20%. Grit, that's about 70%. And flour, about 10%. And all of that will go down through the mill and up into the mash house to be combined with water. Okay. So are there any questions about?
Can you tell a little bit more about this tower?
The tower?
Yeah.
So the design is almost quite oriental, but it's just to allow the fumes to come up, disperse out of the top. Okay. Very iconic in this area. If you go into YouTube and you type in Balvenie Distillery, Pagoda Roof, Kevin McLeod from Grand Designs does a really good Pagoda Roof. He does has a great documentary about it, origins, and yeah, about 200 years old design now. Any other questions?
So what do you do with the used malted barley after the mash and everything? Do you sell it as feed
so it's called draff, and we can sell it to biomass plants. They convert it into energy, into a biogas, and burn it. We can use it as feed as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? No. Quick health and safety then before we go inside. Photography is allowed on tour as long as the flash is turned off, and mobile phones remain switched on as long as airplane mode is activated.